was living in this tiny little apartment. And but the one thing that I made sure that I brought from my apartment was this. I got this real tiny frying pan, and I just chopped a steak up in it. It's perfect size for cooking a steak on the stove. So, and I just throw that in a salad and go to town. I eat that every day.
You know, your doggy looks a lot like my dog. Your doggy Killer looks like my dog.
Yeah.
And then you got the Great Dane too, right?
Yeah, I got a Great Dane named Strucker, and he lives about 100 yards up the road. There's a neighbor of mine that has a couple more Great Danes, and they kind of got to be too good of buddies to where they don't want to be apart, and so I let him stay up there a lot in that. They have a big old backyard, so he stays up there, and yeah, Killer's doing great. We did lose a cow. We had 3 longhorn steers.
Where he got all the steaks, I guess.
Yeah, we did. I'll handle you later. We had one cow get sick or down, but it was the buffalo were still good. Everything's good, you know. I don't know. We ain't done much, you know. We just kind of been. I've been talking to Lance and you know, getting ready for next year. But I stuck around the house mostly and been around my friends and my family.
What about that green flag drop? What's going through your mind and going through your body at that time?
Well, you're just thinking about, you obviously take note of the guys who are around you, you know, the personalities and the people who are around you, and you kind of think about how either aggressive or cautious you want to be at that time. Given your position, whether you're first or last in the field or you know, somewhere in the middle, can determine how aggressive or patient you'll be. But so you're thinking about all those things and sort of forming up this idea in your head about, yeah, this is how these first 10 laps are going to go. This is how many cars I should pass, or this is about where I should maintain my position or whatever. So you remember, your mind thinks back to the last practice and how the car entered the corner, because you're all going down into turn 1 for the first time that day. And you try to think about how the cars sit down in the corner and prepare for that and understand, you know, so you don't wipe everybody out. And you know, that's about it. I mean, there's a lot. You know, the only time you're kind of nervous is when you're sitting still. Once you roll off your road, there's so many things to think about and to do that you don't have time to be nervous anymore. And once the green flag drops, you have zero nerves, really. I mean, you're just so busy. Even if you wanted to be nervous, you couldn't. And you're just thinking about doing everything, you know, thinking about your team, talking to your team. You're looking at, you know, your pit box and where it is, and trying to remember. There's something we do is put a little list on the dash, and my number will be in the middle, and it'll have 2 numbers underneath and 2 numbers above it, and that's who's before and after me in pit lane. And if I am having, so when I'm coming down pit road, if I'm around them cars, I know when they're going to turn in, so I don't run into them. There's all kinds of things to think about to do on those few pace laps we have for the race run. You know, I came here I never saw a Daytona 500 live until I drove in one, but I came to the July race every year as a kid, and there used to be a scoring tower down in turn 1 for the scores, and eventually they moved the scores to somewhere else, so around the front straightaway, and they let the drivers' wives and girlfriends and all the children go down there and watch the race, and that's where we would go down and watch it with Barry Burdine and all these, you know, kids of crew chiefs, and you know, there was more kids there than there were wives and girlfriends, but we used to run wide open in that place. But and it was a small little building. But I remember watching my father. I was here when Greg Sachs won the 400, the Firecracker 400. I remember watching that race, and you know, we weren't really watching it. We were goofing off like kids do for the first half, and then you eavesdrop that somebody named Greg Sachs is leading the race, and he's got a half a lap on Bill Elliott, who won everything that year, and they were only 2 cars on the lead lap, and so you perk up and you go, who's this Greg Sachs guy? And he goes by in this number 10 car, and he never seen it before on the...
It was an R&D car.
Yeah, it was a brand new car. And so I remember that. I remember, and my father wrecked in turn 1. I remember watching that, and he was trying to get a lap back or something, but those were good days, man, watching them old Monte Carlos with them slant back glasses and all that stuff go around here. And was a lot of fun back then. You know, when you were a kid, you didn't know what the hell, you didn't know how good you had it. You had to sit down and do it back then.
And Hank, we all remember 1998.
Yeah. I mean, that was
500.
I wasn't, you know, and I hadn't seen, like I said, I didn't see my first Daytona 500 was from like the 4th row in the field. And I had flipped down the back straightaway in my Daytona debut in the Busch car, and which gave me the opinion that I wasn't going to be very good at driving Busch cars. But luckily that turned out okay. But I had a concussion, a real bad concussion from the wreck, and went home. I was like, I'm feeling pretty bad. I need to go home, Dad. He's like, all right, so he sent me home, and he ends up winning the Daytona 500 next day. I said, I'm pissed off.